Today I'm removing the struts on a 2014 BMW 328xi. This is all-wheel drive. First thing you want to do is obviously remove the wheel. That's all I've done so far. You want to pull the sway bar nut off here for the sway bar link, how it attaches. You're supposed to take a T30 triple square and stick it in there, and then hold that while you're unscrewing this 16mm nut. That's probably, depending on where you live and how rusty it is, not going to work real well. What you may end up doing is taking a little pair of channel locks and grabbing the back shoulder back there with something like this to kind of hold it while you're removing that nut. So I'm going to do that now. If it's fighting you a lot and it looks really nasty, you may want to spray it with some penetrating oil and let it sit for a little while. It may help you out a little bit. Now what you're going to want to do is just pull this little harness off here for the wheel speed sensor. You can see how they're attached. You just get in there and yank those off the bracket. Do that one. Also do this one. And once those are off, you're going to pull this bolt off that's right behind it that attaches that bracket to the strut. It's also the pinch bolt. You're using a 16mm on that side and a 18mm on this side. Hold it here, unscrew the nut, and pull that bolt right out. Bolt out, and just take this bracket, and you can push it off the back and kind of let it hang from the brake flex hose. Now this is all removed. There's nothing attached to this strut. All it is it's just being squeezed by this aluminum spindle. So there's a special tool to spread this. I'll show you in the back here. Right here to put in here to spread that open. If you don't have that, you're doing this at home and you're not planning on doing this a lot, you can use a chisel if you're careful and just kind of tap it in there, just enough to open that up slightly. Don't go crazy, you can break this. You just want to expand it a little bit to help you drive this spindle down off the shock. So I'm gonna start working on that now. This little tool I made a long time ago is basically the same as, you can buy store-bought ones that, order one that works a lot better than this, but this is not bad. It works just fine. Just a 3/8 cheap Allen socket that I kind of ground into this shape. So when you stick it in, you can rotate it, 90 degrees, and then it opens up it opens it up pretty well. So you just stick it back here in that groove. Like this, and then rotate it, and that expands the opening the shock fits into pretty well. And then you just tap the spindle down with a hammer. You don't want to get too crazy, but you're going to want to just tap this until it falls off the strut. There's enough clearance with everything where you won't have a problem with the brake hose or anything like that. So I'm going to tap this thing down until the strut is released from the spindle now. All right, well, there it is, it's released. This one was pretty rusty and a lot of corrosion in that aluminum housing, so I had to tap on it for a little while before it fell down, but it worked just fine. The axle, nothing really causes a problem. If you have a rear-wheel drive one, this is even easier, then you're fighting even less. But yeah, so now I'm gonna lower the car down. All right, now from the top, you're gonna wanna pull these trim pieces off, this black plastic stuff. It just pops into a grommet right there. Pull this straight up, and then back here, quarter turn on these little nuts, these little bolt plastic things. They just have an arm that swings underneath the cowl. So pull that up out of the way when that's released. Use a E18 to remove this bolt here, and then a 16mm socket to get to this, and this. With all that removed, you can just grab the shock right out, the whole strut assembly. And yeah, whatever you have to do from here, bring it to a spring compressor, and finish the job up. So, and thanks for watching.